The front door was already half open when Marcus reached for the handle. One more step, and he would be gone. Gone from the small apartment, from the complicated situation, and from the woman he had started to care about more than he ever expected. He told himself it was the smart choice. Marcus, wait. The voice didn't belong to her. It was small. Fragile. Marcus turned slowly. Standing in the hallway was 8-year-old Tyler, clutching the sleeve of his oversized hoodie. His eyes looked far too serious for a kid his age. Marcus forced a gentle smile. "Hey buddy, it's getting late. I should go." Tyler shook his head quickly. Then he said the words Marcus would never forget. "Please don't leave my mom." The room suddenly felt very quiet. Marcus glanced toward the kitchen where Tyler's mom, Rachel, stood frozen, clearly embarrassed that her son had heard their argument. Marcus had come into their lives only 6 months ago. Rachel had been cautious, protective after years of raising Tyler alone. And Marcus understood. But tonight their fears had finally surfaced. What if this doesn't work? Rachel had asked earlier. What if Tyler gets attached, and you walk away? Marcus thought leaving would make things easier. Less risk. Less heartbreak. But now he looked at Tyler, whose hopeful eyes carried more trust than Marcus felt he deserved. Sometimes adults complicate things that children see clearly. Marcus slowly closed the door. Maybe walking away wasn't the brave choice after all. Maybe, staying was. Marcus slowly closed the door behind him. The small click echoed through the apartment like a decision being made. Tyler relaxed a little, but Rachel looked mortified. "Tyler, honey, go finish your homework," she said gently. "But. Please." The boy hesitated, glancing between them, before walking back toward his room. Silence settled in. Rachel rubbed her forehead. "I'm really sorry about that. He shouldn't have heard our conversation." Marcus shook his head. "It's not his fault." She sighed and leaned against the kitchen counter. "Marcus. I just don't want Tyler getting hurt. He's already been through enough." Marcus knew the story. Tyler's father had left years ago. No calls. No birthdays. Just absence. Rachel had spent years rebuilding their little world. "Sometimes," she continued softly, "when things start to feel good, I get scared." Marcus understood that fear more than she realized. "Rachel," he said, "I wasn't leaving because I don't care." She looked up. "I was leaving because I care too much." Her expression softened with confusion. "If this relationship fails," Marcus continued, "it's not just two adults getting hurt. It's Tyler too." Rachel looked toward the hallway where Tyler's bedroom door sat slightly open. "You know what he told his teacher last week," she said quietly. Marcus shook his head. "He said he hopes you stay forever." Marcus felt something tighten in his chest. He had never planned to become part of a family. But somehow, he already was. Rachel's voice trembled slightly. "I just don't want to lose another person who matters." Marcus stepped closer. For the first time that night, he realized something important. Leaving might protect his heart. But staying might change all their lives. The next few days felt different. Marcus found himself thinking about Tyler's words constantly. "Please don't leave my mom." They weren't dramatic. They weren't complicated. Just honest. Saturday afternoon, Marcus arrived at the park where Rachel had taken Tyler. Tyler spotted him first. "Marcus," he shouted, running across the grass. Marcus barely had time to react before the boy wrapped him in a hug. "You came back." Marcus laughed softly. "Of course I did." Rachel watched from the picnic table, her expression a mixture of relief and caution. Tyler grabbed Marcus's hand. "Come see what I built." He dragged Marcus toward a small sandcastle he had carefully constructed. "This one is me," Tyler said, pointing to a small tower. "And this is Mom." Marcus smiled. "And that one?" he asked. Tyler hesitated. Then he pointed to a third tower. "That one's you, if you stay." Marcus felt the weight of those words again. Rachel walked over slowly. "You don't have to feel pressured," she said quietly. "He's just a kid." But Marcus shook his head. "No, he's just honest." He knelt beside Tyler. "You know something?" Marcus said. "What?" Tyler asked. "Building something strong takes time." Tyler nodded seriously. Marcus smiled. "But if everyone works together, it can last a long time." Tyler grinned. Rachel looked at Marcus, understanding what he was really saying. For the first time since their argument, hope returned. Life didn't magically become perfect. There were still doubts. Still fears. But something had changed between them. Marcus began showing up in the small everyday moments that truly mattered. Helping Tyler with math homework. Fixing a broken kitchen cabinet. Cooking dinner when Rachel worked late. One evening, Tyler sat at the table drawing with colored pencils. "Marcus," he asked suddenly. "Yeah, buddy?" "Why did my dad leave?" Rachel froze in the kitchen. Marcus chose his words carefully. "Sometimes adults make mistakes," he said gently. "Big ones." Tyler looked down at his drawing. "Are you going to leave too?" Rachel's eyes filled with worry. Marcus pulled out a chair and sat beside Tyler. "I can't promise that life will never change," he said honestly. "But I can promise something else." Tyler looked up. "I'm not the kind of person who walks away from people I care about." Tyler studied him carefully. Then he nodded, satisfied. Rachel wiped her eyes quietly. That night, after Tyler fell asleep, Rachel and Marcus sat on the balcony. "I've never seen Tyler trust someone like this," she said softly. Marcus smiled. "I think he just needed someone to stay." Rachel looked at him carefully. "And you?" Marcus thought for a moment. Then he answered honestly. "I think I needed a reason to stay." A few weeks later, the school hosted a family day. Parents, grandparents, and relatives filled the playground. Tyler stood nervously beside Rachel. "Everyone's bringing someone," he whispered. Rachel squeezed his shoulder. "We're here together." But Tyler kept looking toward the entrance. Then his face suddenly lit up. "He's here." Marcus walked across the playground carrying a small kite. "Sorry I'm late," he said. Tyler ran straight into him. Rachel laughed in surprise. "I thought you had work today." "I did," Marcus replied. "But some things are more important." They spent the afternoon flying the kite, laughing as Tyler tried to keep it steady in the wind. At one point Tyler turned to Marcus seriously. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "If you stay for a really long time, can I call you something else?" Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Like what?" Tyler hesitated. Then he whispered it. "Dad." Rachel's breath caught. Marcus felt a wave of emotion he didn't expect. He knelt down beside Tyler. "You can call me whatever feels right to you," Marcus said gently. Tyler smiled so wide it seemed impossible for his face to hold it. For the first time in years, their little family felt complete. 1 year later, life had changed in ways none of them expected. The apartment felt warmer, fuller, and much louder thanks to Tyler's endless energy. One evening, Tyler sat at the kitchen table working on a school project titled, "My Family." Marcus peeked over his shoulder. Tyler had drawn 3 people holding hands. "Looks familiar," Marcus said. Tyler grinned. "I like drawing happy things." Rachel walked over and kissed Tyler's head. "You've gotten really good at drawing." Tyler shrugged. It's easy when you know what your family looks like. Marcus felt Rachel slip her hand into his. A year ago, he had almost walked out that door. Almost walked away from something that scared him. Something uncertain. Something real. Rachel looked up at him. Remember that night? She asked softly. Marcus nodded. Tyler looked between them curiously. What night? Marcus smiled. The night you stopped me from making a big mistake. Tyler blinked. I did. Marcus nodded. Yeah, buddy. You did. Sometimes life changes because of huge decisions. But sometimes it changes because of a small voice saying the right words at the right moment. And sometimes the bravest choice isn't leaving when things get difficult. Sometimes it's staying. And building a family that was waiting for you all along. Red Heart.